Hello there, my name is Jay with CompuMatter and with ServerMatter, and I have installed Ubuntu in a virtual machine, VirtualBox in this case. I'm running a LightDM as my display manager instead of the default Wayland. Don't know if that's of any consequence at all, just letting you know. And I've been trying to get Cursor up and running on my VirtualBox, but I have run into a lot of problems with the display not being available for it, and I think it's because it's a virtual machine environment, and maybe it's like a little bit like a remote desktop within a remote desktop, and Electron is trying to take display resources that are currently being used by VirtualBox or something along those lines that's made it very difficult to do. I've tried other remote desktop programs like VNC and XRDP and Windows Remote Desktop and different ways to maybe get around that. Played with environment variables until I was blue in the face, and nothing has worked. So if you're using VirtualBox and you're trying to run Cursor, this is the only thing that I have found out that's worked. Okay, first you need to get a hold of the app image file itself. And I have found the very best way to do that is to use this command right here, this wget. I won't read that out in detail. You can see it right here, and that'll download it to whatever machine you need it on. I have found if you're using VirtualBox and Windows as a host, and you go to their site and you try to download the Linux file, you can't. It only shows you whatever operating system you happen to be using when you're looking at the browser. So anyway, this one will work from anywhere. And that's going to put it in my user applications cursor app image. You could put it anywhere on the computer you want. It doesn't matter. That's just what this command will do. You can preface that with any other location. Once that's done, make it executable. And once that's executable, create a bash script that points to it that's going to run Cursor. Now, here, despite every instruction you ever read when running in a VirtualBox and running a remote in that Electron environment, however many different ways you do it, I have found I can't get it to run from a local user. Maybe I didn't do the right things. If somebody reading this or watching this has a better idea and they figured out how to get past this, I'm all ears. We're going to go to a root user. Now, I've been through so many iterations that quite frankly I can't remember if this was required or not required, but I think it was. I think this avoided some of the error message that I was getting, so I recommend that you install Fuse and Live Fuse 2, follow these instructions, and that will alleviate some of those error messages. And I've created a bash script called smcursor for ServerMatter cursor. And let me pull this over to the side a little bit so you can see it. Okay, and basically these are the commands. This one checks you, the first one checks you to make sure that you are a root user. The next one starts a new dbus session. That's going to eliminate some of the dbus messages, the error messages that you would normally get if you tried to run without it. Here we're going to just simply cd to wherever on your system that you've installed that single app image file. And we're going to run the program like this, /cursor.appimage, the file you downloaded, and no sandbox, which is required when running it as a root user. And I have found disabled GPU. Remember, we're in a virtual machine. GPU is a whole different animal, and without that, you're going to get GPU-related error messages because either it's not a good enough GPU or VirtualBox is using some of it or whatever the case may be. And this last bit here is to kill any dbus processes that are running that were used by the software once it exits. So that'll happen once you close the file. Okay, so that's it. Let's clear that and let's run Cursor so you can see how it works. I'm going to expand this to full screen. Again, I've tried to remote desktop into VirtualBox and use this software. Can't get it done, no matter what I've used. So let's go ahead and view full screen mode. I've tried seamless and scaled. Full screen is the best. It gives me perfect resolution, and also it gives you this menu at the top, which is great because if you go into some of the mode that eliminates the menu, sometimes you can't find the host key that you're looking for and you can't get yourself out of that scaled mode. I'm sure if you're using VirtualBox, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so now we are, in fact, I'll start this as a regular user, and I'll type in bash sm cursor, and that's one of the advantages of putting it where I did. It's available from anywhere, and I get the error message saying this script must be run as root, which we built into the script, and then we'll try that again. And there we go. And that's it. I hope this short video has saved you a bunch of brain damage. If you're using a VirtualBox environment with Ubuntu, it's a tough road to hoe, and this is probably where you're going to end up unless I hear otherwise from one of you folks that are watching this video. If you like the video, be sure to subscribe, and you'll have a front row seat on any others that we create. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.